Unfortunately, eviction is one of the hardest things to come back from, and leads to chronic homelessness.
Why have a tax on housing when we know we have an affordability crisis?
This May, voters will see Measure 26238 on the ballot, a new tax to provide free legal representation to people facing eviction. It would levy an adjustable countywide capital gains tax, initially set at 0.75%. It's a tax the federal government already collects based on the profit made from selling an investment, anything from stocks, real estate, mutual funds, cryptocurrency, and other capital assets. Proponents, like Eviction Representation for All, hope the new tax will raise $12 to $15 million a year. Colleen Carroll is a volunteer organizer. She says the eviction process is complicated and difficult to navigate. This measure would provide early intervention before people are forced out.
These are important steps that allow people to stay in their homes and for us to reduce unnecessary evictions through supporting those tenants through whatever the issue is. But it's almost impossible for tenants to do that on their own.
The vote this May has been in the works for about 2 years. The Portland Business Alliance has been fighting it.
And so we got involved because here's a proposal that asks voters to raise taxes, and in large part on housing, in the middle of a housing crisis. And so it's our responsibility to stand up to proposals like this that may be well intended to help get tenants representation, but that impact the very thing that we know is driving our region to a place of unaffordability.
The Portland Business Alliance says the measure would have a dramatic impact on anyone trying to sell their home.
Any appreciation in that home since you purchased it, and at today's rates, that number is growing at a significant pace, you would be paying a tax on that gain between when you bought it and when you sell it.
Metro and Multnomah County voters already passed big income tax measures for the homeless and preschool for all. The next year, in 2021, more than 12,000 people moved out of Multnomah County. Some told us it was because of high taxes and not seeing much for it. But proponents say this tax and the legal representation it will provide is needed coming out of the pandemic, and with Oregon landlords able to raise rents by about 14% this year.
Eviction and displacement is a huge issue in our community. We know that tenants are struggling both before the pandemic, but then definitely through the pandemic, right? Every tenant is at risk of an eviction. We need to be able to address displacement in our community at every stage.
Portland and Multnomah County leaders have also spoken out against the measure. Mayor Ted Wheeler sent us a statement saying, in part, affordable housing is certainly a worthy goal, but I cannot support an additional tax that could have the impact of driving investment out of Portland at a time when we are working hard to encourage support for our community.